Greetings, fellow Gothamites. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And we're back. Shoot. I'm sorry. And we're here to cover episode, is it 14 or 15?
I believe it's 14, yeah.
14, episode 14 of season 2 of Fox's retelling of the Dark Knight mythology, entitled This Ball of Mud and Madness, Hugo. So join us as we venture into Batman's birthplace. And
explore Gotham.
That was a fail, but I blame Batman versus Superman for the fail. God. So BlueDragonFive, I just watched this past week's episode of Gotham. We're still a little behind. We're still catching up from my trip to Disneyland, but that's okay. We're plunging forward. But I just watched this past week's episode that we'll be covering in a couple days, and I gotta say, I thought it was a really, really good payoff to all the Riddler stuff that we got. I thought it was a great standalone Riddler story. And I thought out of the two Batman-related properties that came out this week, it was by far the stronger one. All right, that's how we're starting.
Can we not open the wounds now? Can we just talk about? Can we just focus on the positive, please?
All right, well, let's focus on the positive because I think Gotham has been on a bit of an upswing lately. I think they've really got their groove going on. I actually shaved my facial hair specifically in the style of Hugo Strange. I didn't know if you noticed that.
Well, did he have the mustache?
I don't know if he has a mustache or not. I actually don't think.
I don't believe he does. But otherwise, yeah, I can see what you're going for there.
Yeah, I'm going for like the thin. Maybe I'll shave the mustache, but I'm just going for the thin beard look. Anyways. So this ball of mud and madness. I'm sorry, it's hard to say the title.
This ball of mud and madness. It's right behind you.
I know. It's right there. Okay, let's get into it. So, episode starts with a Mrs. Cobblepot.
Yeah, so we see this really awesome opening here. Penguin tied and gagged to this chair, like tied up to like on the fancy chair in his swanky place he was staying at, and Mrs. Cobblepot, again, a lovely return of Carol Kane.
Mm-hmm.
The serving one at the same time, asking, "What's wrong?" Life is hard, and basically saying, life is hard, and when you're special like you are, basically saying, you're my special boy, but you need to eat to become strong, strong enough to beat the women away with a stick. And then, oh boy, this is awesome. What happens? It's like so creepy and so brilliantly executed here. So Penguin's like, basically, she's trying to get Penguin to eat his goulash.
Yeah.
So as he's just strapped to this thing again, creepily. Again, I love it. It's bringing the real world into the dream, where he's like, he's strapped to the chair and he has like the bite guard on. So that's why he's in that position. Anyway, so we see
it's almost Inception-like with the way it kind of blends the dream world and the real world.
Yeah, we get this really clever bit of just kind of. It is a great representation of kind of Penguin's fears and kind of what's trying to happen at Arkham here, where Strange trying to purge him of his violent tendencies. Where kind of the embodiment of the old Penguin, kind of the violent side of Penguin. It literally beats his mother to death in front of him with a baseball bat in the violent manner that he beat Theo Galavan with.
All I can think of is that The Walking Dead is about to introduce a villain that beats people senseless with a barbed wire lined baseball bat, played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Batman vs. Superman tie-in, but I digress. You know what's really funny about the Jeffrey Dean Morgan thing is that his wife is played by Lauren Cohen, who's also on The Walking Dead, and in the comics, let's just say him and the Lauren Cohen character just don't get along at all. So anyways.
Okay, but back on point. But seriously, how clever an idea is that? Like, you kind of embody kind of that. One of the most violent things we saw Penguin do is kind of beat Galavan with that baseball bat, and we kind of have that kind of being used against him here for a traumatic effect. And I love that with that trauma, it's off screen. We don't see poor Carol Kane get beaten senseless with a baseball bat. We see the reaction on Penguin's face, and then that yell just jettisons him to what we're actually seeing, what Hugo Strange and company seeing here on the outside is him with the psychotropic helmet on. I'm convinced is going to tie into the Mad Hatter. Mark my words. As he's kind of writhing around there, we get some really cool explanations as to what's going on and what's the deal with this awesome opening we have here. So Strange and Peabody have been watching the procedure. So basically, what this is, they've matched the psychotropic helmet treatment with Crane's formula, with the Crane formula. So they're using
coming back.
yeah. So that's how cool is that? They're using some of Dr. Crane's serum, some of the fear toxin, along with kind of the Mad Hatter tech, or at least at the very least, the psychotropic kind of mind helmets. That's really neat. That's why it's kind of forcing him. They're trying to scare him straight, essentially.
Yeah, no, it's a really good way to bring the Scarecrow into the story without having to do another standalone Scarecrow episode or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that's kind of throughout the Batman universe. I've always kind of mentioned kind of the fear toxin, these offhanded toxins, kind of making use of them, which is it's pretty neat. They're kind of starting to do that, and it's very logical. That's how you get it. They want to kind of speed up the process. How do you do that? You traumatize them out of insanity.
Right.
Well, what they don't know is they're kind of like bottling it, and it's going to come out in a big way. I can assume. I don't know. I'm just assuming.
We'll see.
So the point is, like, they're doing this to get results, and they want to test him to adverse stimuli. They want to basically test him when he's put up against violence and see if his violent tendencies will come out. And they use the ice
cream test.
The ominous ice cream test.
Oh man.
Now this thing kind of minorly bugs me because they didn't address like what happened to this guy. They mentioned him once and they never kind of mentioned. This is a returning character that Penguin's going up against here. This is Aaron Helzener, Amygdala, member of one of the Maniacs.
Oh, I didn't even notice. Okay.
That's it's him, but Jim Gordon. There was a line way back after when they're looking for the remaining Maniacs. Bear in mind, a lot of them were getting killed off left and right.
That
So
Maniac storyline really didn't go anywhere.
So seriously, he was like the only remaining Maniacs member. It was Jerome, Barbara, and Amygdala. Of course, Jerome didn't quite make it.
No.
So you're wondering where the heck's the other guy? And they finally caught up with it. They don't explain how he got back. And their point is, Amygdala's back in there. Penguin sits across from him, but he has ice cream on his plate. And Amygdala is very curious about this. He wants to know why Penguin has ice cream. And Oswald just being a nice guy at this point because he's starting to be kind of. Basically, we've now shifted from. In terms of our movie comparisons here, we've shifted from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest to Clockwork Orange, which is very cool.
So absolutely Clockwork Orange. Totally.
I gotta tell you, I'm really digging the Clockwork Orange stuff they're doing. It's so sad. I
mean, it's spot on. It's really beat by beat. It's pretty much the same story.
It's kind of a cool move, just kind of shift between your other kind of psychiatric film to the other.
Right.
And anyway, so he's asking, why do you have ice cream? Oswald being the nice version of Oswald here saying, well, I don't know. I mean, would you like some? Why do you have ice cream and I don't? And this is Amygdala's shtick. He has like a child's temperament of like going to kind of the angry temper tantrums like that because he has purely the anger adrenaline in his brain. And he beats the Penguin up. He's throwing him around the table, and the doctor.
I think the piece de resistance to the scene is when Aaron's like, "Which flavor is it? Which flavor is it?"
So as the guards, okay, so Strange and Peabody. So
I
Strange,
can't even say it with a straight face.
I'll say it with a straight face for us. Anyway, so Strange and Peabody, they're like excited about the results. Excellent, no violence, hooray! And they clap later. I'm sorry, there's an awesome clap later on, but that's the later point. Is he's saying, "What flavor is it? What flavor is it?"
That might be like one of the best lines in the whole season thus far.
This actually might be one of our best cold opens because then we cut to right after what flavor is it? We cut to the Gotham logo. Am I right?
No. I actually have written down in my notes missed cold open opportunity. We get to Bruce and Selena. And
okay, so that's
over the gun.
Sorry about that. I forgot when the.
I know it's a shame. It's a shame. They really could have put the Bruce and Selena thing as the first thing after the Gotham logo. I really don't understand.
You got to remember, folks. It's been a while, so we're a little off on like the little intricacies.
I'm glad I put that in my notes. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, anyway, so that went a little bit on me. Sorry, folks. Okay,
I agree. It would have been a fucking excellent cold open, but unfortunately, because we're both OCD about stuff like that, we have to, it's not one singular scene before they get to the logo.
Anyways, let's see. So Selena gives Bruce the gun that he asked for the previous episode, and this moment to me, as a Bat fan, is like, oh, that's so great. Like, this is a big moment. Bruce Wayne contemplates killing someone. We saw this in Batman Begins. It was a big moment. It was a really well-played moment. And here we have a similar thing going on where he's gotten the gun. I love that that's from Selena Kyle, of all people, someone who has kind of skirts that line, that criminal line between for Bruce and for Bruce and Batman, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, skirts that line. He's always walking a tightrope on, and here it's the hesitation on that. That they have this great chat as Bruce Wayne looking at the gun, having that hesitation, and she's asking, "Well, come on, you want it or not?" And he takes it, and then she has this great line that definitely feeds into a Batman philosophy I grew up with as a kid watching the animated series. Guns are only for one thing. Yeah, very good.
Ben Affleck.
Seriously. Don't crush my childhood comparison here. We went over this in the Underdwellers.
Sorry, that was mean. That was genuinely mean.
Okay, but seriously, just the hesitation, that line that Selena basically says, it's for defense. No, Bruce, guns are for one thing. Yes, you're right, guns are for one thing. Mm-hmm. And with that line, it reminds me of one of the most impactful things from Batman the Animated Series for me, where it was he took the gun from our Underdweller, from Frog, and he tells him, basically, children and guns do not mix ever. But what that moment communicated to me as a kid was like, guns really only kill. That's what's the main purpose of the gun. It's that's kind of the thing communicated to a kid as Batman.
Sure.
Anyway, so point is big moment for Bruce Wayne. We know he's armed with a gun. It's kind of like you see the gun on the table, and you know something's going to happen within the third act. So good setup there. Let's see. So Leslie is asking Jim about Kringle's paychecks. She's concerned for her friend, Miss Kristen Kringle.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of put the storyline to the side for a while, but it's paying off really well.
Well, that's a good rationale. Okay, paychecks come in. Well, it makes sense. That's when she would know, like, the paychecks are kind of piling up, and they're at the desk, and she asks about it, and they give them to her. Well, we don't know her mailing address, so you're a friend. You take care of it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so Lee is asking. They had their big blow up last episode, so they're still now. Again, this is just why I'm glad they glaze over it here because it's so. I'm partially glad they glazed over because I didn't want to have to deal with it. But because basically it was a simple. Sorry, I'm losing a few thoughts right now. Anyway, Lee here. What happened was Gordon walked off without addressing her very logical questions. She was making excellent points. Gordon just walked away without explaining things, and now he's just kind of picking up the pieces here, and what you expect the follow up to be. Just saying, he's trying to make up for the stupidity he pulled last episode. Mm-hmm. And, they don't really dwell on it until, I guess, a little later on. I guess it's just still festering below the surface. But it's, they've moved past it like they tend to do. That was Lee's shtick is that, she's the evolved woman. She talks things out with Gordon, which makes sense. And here, they don't want to talk about it at work.
I think by the end of the next episode, I'm back on board with them.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think they're taking a smart step of just not dwelling on that moment we left off last episode. They're just kind of moving past, and Gordon's just doing but then he kind of like the regular guy sort of thing to do. Like, okay, look, I'm going to make up for this. I'm going to take care of this for you. We're going to be good, right? Okay. Essentially, it's kind of fun to see Gordon the romantic comedy side of that, partially, So, back to the plot, sorry. She's asking, she left with Doherty, and I heard that Doherty was abusive, so I'm a little worried. She says, okay, I'll look into it. No, sure, I'll look into it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, again, Bruce holding the gun is in his pocket, big setup for later on. He goes with Alfred, and after Alfred kind of gives him a real serious question, are you sure? I mean, this is a big thing we're playing here, Master Bruce. You sure you want to go along with this? Yes. I mean, I love the acting on this episode. Again, this is such a great setup of Bruce having this big moral decision in his pocket the whole episode.
This is probably one of the better Bruce-centric episodes of the series because it really explores the dynamic of him wanting to kill versus not wanting to kill and whatnot.
Honestly, I think this might be, it's like, if it's not just of all time, it's definitely like in the top 5 performances this kid's given for an episode.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he does a really good job this episode where he has just every little thing. Just now we know how they have his weight literally in his pocket right here of like, yes, I'm sure. Because absolutely he's sure he's bringing this gun. Or at least he's convinced that he's sure.
Sure.
So Alfred gives him very explicit instructions. I mean, I have really one gripe with this episode. Otherwise, I really love it. So Alfred says, follow my lead on the street, and we'll get there. We'll get stuff. They examine the file, and they basically determine that, okay, so Matches Malone, he has an old associate named Cupcake.
How great is that?
Yeah, so Cupcake was awesome, by the way. I love Cupcake.
Yeah. Not Cupcake Boy.
See, this is Cupcake's friendly uncle. Emphasis on friendly.
All right.
See, Cupcake Boy one day will grow up to take on the family business and be Cupcake Man.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
This is Cupcake Boy's Uncle Cupcake. Anyway, so Uncle Cupcake aside. So basically, they find a known associate, Matches Malone, Cupcake, and importantly, they mention, okay, so Cupcake was sent to Blackgate because of Matches Malone, which means that's our elite. We go to this guy as a bow in the grind with this guy, so we're gonna maybe use him to get some answers. And here's a reference to Dark Knight Returns right here. He runs a gang called the Mutants.
Yeah, I totally picked up on that.
Yeah. Some people have pointed out the absurdity that we're having reference to the Dark Knight Returns of the story after Batman retires to
right
to a group like that. But you know what? It's kind of an idea that's been coming around now. Like with Jerome's stuff, we're kind of having like the Jokers, which are from Batman Beyond. So it's not the worst idea just to have like gang names cemented in there.
You know what? This is like alternate universe Batman. I mean, that's you have to look at this show this way. There's no other way to look at it.
I mean, the point is, the Mutants is like a cool name drop, and it's the idea. Okay, well, maybe years and years to a Dark Knight Returns-esque future, how mutants actually took. Say, hey, look, there's a gang called Mutants. Let's actually look like mutants this time.
Right, sure.
That sort of thing. It's kind of it's a neat little name drop. I was satisfied with it. Anyway, so the mutants. Apparently, these mutants. Again, I would like to think they don't really explicitly state it, but I would like to think these mutants were partially inspired by the Joker, by Jerome. Because they love fighting. Particularly, I mean, we literally have them fighting each other and they're stabbing each other. Just with glee and smiles on their face, which kind of reminds me of Jerome.
I think most of the villains on the show going forward are at least partially inspired by Jerome, which is one of the best things about his character.
Yeah, I mean, they're fighting and they're literally stabbing each other for amusement. These guys are not to be trifled with, you would think. So Alfred meets with Cupcake.
God.
You know what? My second thought with Cupcake, aside from Cupcake Boy, you know what it was?
What?
It was from Rise of the Guardians, the animated movie. Remember, where Cupcake was the girl with was the large girl they were afraid they angered.
Oh my God, that's right. Yeah.
Oh no, I hit Cupcake.
Oh no.
So apparently, those are Alfred's inner monologues during that fight scene. So those are Alfred's Dark Knight Returns style inner monologues during that fight scene. I hit Cupcake. I'm gonna die.
I did not want to hit Cupcake, but I did not have a choice. Oh God.
I have a choice in the matter, thanks to Master B.
Okay.
Anyway, so Alfred meets with Cupcake and mentions, okay, they're looking for Malone. Now, again, I love the actor, how he portrays Cupcake. He plays him as kind of like a rational yet very unsavory gentleman.
Kind of like Tuco Salamanca.
Yes, but less meth crazy.
Yeah, like Tuca Salamanca off of the meth. Would you say?
Yeah. Somewhat, yeah. So let's see. So Bruce,
get the better get the club soda. Club soda.
Okay, but importantly here, let's see.
Oswald, use the club soda when you clean up the blood, Oswald. Such a good boy.
Okay. Point is, they're looking for Malone. Alfred's doing kind of the smart thing here, just kind of trying to establish some common ground. Well, look, we're looking for Matches Malone. We know you have a grind with him, so maybe you allow us to work up some sort of deal, an arrangement. Then Bruce interjects. Yeah, this is my one pet peeve of the episode. Again, I can't really think of another weak point, but we'll go through it, see if there's another weak point, I guess.
Okay,
but this one in particular kind of still sticks in my craw. It's a really dumb move on Bruce's part.
Yeah.
I'm just saying Bruce interjects, and again, he's just bungling the whole thing. Again, he told him Alfred told him explicitly, very simply, okay, follow my lead. Bruce.
I mean, Bruce is trying to be, I kind of wrote it off as a learning experience for Bruce. He's trying to be, he's trying to take control of the situation, really get something out of it, really get some leverage, but he's just failing miserably at it.
Right off the bat, here's the thing, though. He does the same thing every time a situation like this arises. He always mentions his name is Bruce Wayne, which is what you do not want to do. Do not mention your Bruce Wayne. That's not helping.
You'd think you would have learned that by now. I mean, kind of, you're right. There is a pattern here.
Come on. Anyway. So Bruce interjects. He kind of bungles the whole thing, mentions he's Bruce Wayne. They go, oh, the boy billionaire, and basically offers him a large deal of money. And he tells him, Cupcake.
Hey, it's Bruce! It's Bruce Wayne!
Now, there was this really great bit, though. Again, I'm really loving. I really hope Cupcake comes back. This guy was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Where there's really great bit where he's asking, like, what are you looking for Matches Malone for? He says, what's the reason? He says, he killed my parents. Oh, that's a good reason.
Oh, that's a good answer.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Cupcake is so lovable. I love this guy. I mean, if we're lucky, he could be kind of the Turk Barrett for Gotham. Be kind of the information source.
In a perfect world.
In a perfect world, I would very much like that. Anyway, so he names his price. That's too much.
Oh, the boy's cheap.
The boy is cheap, and I love like kind of the joking thread of like, well, give us this much, and we'll let you to walk away. But he says, "Oh, I'm joking." But then, importantly, Alfred stepped up as if he was going to take this guy down so they get out of there. He says, "No, I'm just joking."
Mm-hmm.
I like little boys, which out of context sounds very wrong.
No, oh no.
But here's the thing though, he's gotta give props to the actor. Again, the way he sells it's like, oh my god, it's so nice. He's pleasant to children.
Yeah.
But out of context, very creepy. Out of context and on paper, horrifying.
Not disagreeing with you.
Yeah, but seriously, he's so lovable. It's like, oh, I like little boys. I wouldn't pick a fight with a child. That's what it sounds like. I'm not crazy with that, right?
No, I mean, it's kind of like on one hand, it's sort of like a Mike kind of style, like, oh, well, I'm not going to pick a fight with a kid, but on the other hand, yeah, out of context, the line is very,
Yeah, okay, anyway, so let's see. So they strike up a deal. The deal is Matches Malone for a fight with Alfred because he really wants to take a poke at Alfred. Because again, Cupcake and the mutants, they love fighting. So they demand, and he demands a fight after Bruce tries to coil him with like 100,000. 100,000 offers. No, this isn't about money. This is, it's my house. I demand a fight, and it's to show respect. I'm all about respect.
Right.
So basically, it's all about respect. So deal. So you do this, or basically, sorry.
No fight, no deal, no matches, no exit.
Yes. Basically, if you don't do this, you don't get the exit either. So I'm trying to help you, kid. So you only have one option here.
It's like he's trying to be pleasant about it, but at the same time, he's very threatening. And
again, you're right about one thing, T. There is a definite learning curve here. Bruce learning the ways of Gotham here, learning how you deal with these street gangs.
Which I feel like it's kind of a good build-up to where we eventually get with Bruce. At the end.
Speaking of Dark Knight Returns with the mutants, I do like how this kind of parallels that mutant scene. Of course, one of the big climatic scenes in Dark Knight Returns where he fights the mutant leader. I mean, it's not a thing he has to do, but he does it, again, kind of out of respect sort of thing. One, just to see if he can earn the respect of this gang, which he does later on in the book. But in the first encounter, he does just to see if he can actually do this sort of thing. So again, it's homaging that in a really interesting way.
Definitely, yeah.
Point is, so Alfred agrees because he has to, and I love just a little. This is kind of funny. There's the two of them having a little banter of like, oh, so you're acting like this is my fault. Which again, this line made me very angry the first time. I was like, yes, Bruce, it is your fault.
Right.
But I mean, I just love kind of little banter they have, like back when he was hitting on Lee. Remember? It's like well, you knew, didn't you? Well, I learned fast. But Bruce did make a smart observation here. He said, well, I expected a similar result either way, which he was right. It probably would have been a similar result to get the
that's true. I can't argue with that. Yeah.
I got to ease up on it for that reason. I'll give it that. But let's see. Then Alfred's, well, if we live, hopefully you'll learn a lesson from this. Pick your battles.
There you go. There you see. It's like a reading. It's like the more you know.
Yep. Okay, so basically they have a violent game of Uncle here.
Oh God! Which I love how it's like it's all a game to them. So I very much do think that it's at least somewhat Jerome inspired. I think you're really onto something there.
So basically it's a game of Uncle. So basically either you basically Alfred and then the couple will beat the living snot out of each other until one of them says Uncle or the other one's knocked out. So I love this. This is great. I kind of like how this pays off. I have gripes with exactly how it pays off in another episode, but I mean I like how it's set up here. How Alfred's giving Bruce some fighting tips while he's fighting. I thought that was really clever, really neat. So he's like giving him really valuable lessons that Batman would definitely use and are very useful to him. Saying,
yeah, totally.
Bruce, as he's fighting, like a lot of really awesome kind of fighting going on between him and Cupcake, saying timing is everything. Also saying, at least it's a brutal fight going on. Well, in addition to brutal, I love how strategic it is. You see Alfred really kind of timing his punches, kind of Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmesian. He says not as like kind of stop slow motion, that sort of thing, but you see like he's slapping the guy as he's avoiding the pass, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like guy comes charging at him, like he evades him with like a few strategic hits.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so then he mentions, the footwork is very key, and then he mentions big thing here, huge tip, really awesome tip here. He says, remember, the bigger they are, the slows, because strength costs to win. He puts him in a sleeper hold. Remember, Master Bruce, strength costs to win. To beat a big man, you have to outlast him. Basically, as he's fighting him, he's slowing down. He's a big guy. And he's taking away some air. He's knocking the wind out of him, and he's just like holding him there until he outlast him. Very clever.
Kind of feel like we had two badass Mike moments this week, or badass old man moments between this and then Mike taking the beating from Tuco. Very similar. Very similar.
So I believe they were in the same week, if I'm right. Those two.
I don't know.
Oh wait, yeah, no. I'm thinking of the most recent Better Call. So yeah, it's an episode off still. Anyway.
Yeah, that's an episode. Oh well.
Okay, let's see. So Alfred wins. I love this bit. This cracked me up just then. I love again how Al still, after he loses, Cupcake still he's a man of his word. Bruce writes him a check. He says, "Oh, can I write you a check?" He's just laughing. Oh my god, all this he's not even going to pay in cash. Yeah, sure. I just love Cupcake. He's so jovial. He's just like, oh, just make it out the cash.
Right.
Go to meet Jerry at Celestial Gardens.
Mm-hmm.
Alfred's all, yeah, we did. And then he passes out instantly.
This is like the third time Alfred's ended up in the hospital?
1, 2, it's second time.
Second time.
Remember, he was stabbed that one time, so that was a pretty big deal. Okay. So. Yeah, Alfred's right. So Alfred's in the hospital. He's recuperating. He basically tells Bruce that he tells Bruce, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. When I'm better, we're gonna take care of this. But I don't want you going off by yourself. And before he says, I want you to promise me. And before before that promise can be made, Bruce strategically played it like this. He stalls. I'm sorry, what? And then the morphine kicks in, and Alfred passes out.
Oh, good night, your officer of space cowboy.
The Lion and the Unicorn.
Oh God.
Anyway, so again, strategic Bruce there kind of find a little loophole, but he apologizes. I'm sorry, Alfred, but Bruce he knows he's going to try to kill him, where Alfred was more willing to do that, but he's got to do it himself.
Yeah, that's coming. Anyway,
he's got to honor his parents in his mind at this point. So, you know what time it is, Tiki?
What time?
Word association time.
Oh God.
So, Oswald Cobblepot and Hugo Strange and a little game.
If you want to say the words, I can do the associations if you have written down.
I don't have.
Oh, okay. Well, I have written it all down. So, blood, life, throat, song, cat, kitten, mother, Bates Motel.
I thought you were going to say Norma for a second.
God, no. Hugs. Crime, punishment, revenge, remorse. Let's talk about that. Remorse is progress. Remorse. I love the way Hugo Strange.
Yeah, this line is great. This is so great.
Remorse is huge.
I love the emphasis with the hands too. Revenge is huge.
It's huge.
Okay, so main points of the series, he mentions it's a normal sign, which is good, very good, because Oswald wants to be normal because of all these treatments he's been getting.
I want to be a real boy.
I got no strings. Like, it's my shtick. Okay, sorry, James Spader. Anyway, so much for Penguin's tap dancing number. Anyway, so Strange.
That's how the Penguin came on the Muppet Show. Da-da-da-da-da.
And it's funny. The Penguin is actually on the Muppet Show.
Right.
No, seriously, Paul Williams was on the Muppet Show, so in some form, the Penguin has been on the Muppet Show and been a big part of the Muppet universe.
If this current Penguin has been on the Muppet Show, then I think he should do a tap dancing number with the Penguins.
Yeah.
Dick Van Dyke style.
Okay, but seriously, so Strange points out. I love the detail they point out here, where Strange can tell that he's not lying when he says, I do feel genuinely bad. You must not believe me. No, I know you're not lying. I can tell. Anyway, so Strange then points out, well, I think you need a little more therapy. And I love the dread you can sense on Oswald. Like, oh no, more therapy. It's like, oh, just more. And
again, well, I know there's a discomfort factor. But you do want to get better, don't you?
And again, I love that we're getting those awesome close-ups.
Oh yeah. I think that's one of the best directorial choices.
And think about it. Look at the emphasis on discomfort. The close-ups on with discomfort, and him looking at let's see how he reacts. He's going to break out into violent rage. He's going to try to stab me.
Right.
Very, very clever on Strange's part there. I love that directorial choice. I'm with you there. I love the sense of dread on the Penguin. It's like, oh, yeah, I do want to get better, and poor guy.
Oswald, please call me Hugo.
Yes, and again, I love that. I love kind of the emphasis on kind of throughout that whole word association test. You have very key words like mother and cat, for like Selena and then Mrs. Kobuput.
Yeah, I see what they did there. Sure.
Yep, and that call me Hugo bit's so great. Just like, yeah, I'm becoming your buddy, even though I'm more than willing to throw you away like bad ham. So let's see. Let's see. Oh yes, then we have Gordon Enigma here.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, I love that Enigma is kind of working on kind of some cutting edge, kind of really clever techniques here. So he's working on a tattoo-linked time of death test, which is really clever, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just love this again. You have somewhat of a brotherly dynamic between these two before all the wheels come off.
Oh, what's about to come crashing and burning down? That whole toast to family and friends. Oh no.
But seriously, I like how it's kind of on many levels the scene plays here. Again, one, if it is kind of like a brotherly thing, it's like kind of Gordon says, I don't understand what this guy's all about, but I'm friendly to him. I'm going to get some responses out of him. I'm just, he's knocking on there and saying, is that a yes? You see kind of how bothered Enigma is of I'm actually doing something important to law enforcement here, but no, please come in. Again, it's kind of like a younger brother working on something, older brother, is that English? Like the jock meets kind of the scientific brother.
Right.
Anyway, again, I also like the lighting on the microscope. Looks very much like a Riddler mask from the comics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's intentional. I just like the little, the coincidence of that. Anyway, so you can tell Enigma's a little bothered by Gordon's intrusion here. Anyway, so then Gordon right off the bat asks about Miss Kringle.
I'm strong as a rock, but a word can destroy me. What am I?
Answer?
Silence. I was hoping you'd answer.
Sorry, no, that's the gay. That Gordon didn't know what it was.
Silence. I've heard nothing.
Again, I like the defense mechanism coming in. He's going to the Riddler mode there. So Gordon asked about Doherty, and this is did you save the notes? Well, I didn't keep the note. It was very disheartening, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I love in this scene, though, score-wise, I love there's the safari sound of Enigma's mind. He's thinking this guy's just animals trying to snuff me out. Yeah, it's very kind of like they're searching each other essentially. It's Enigma's viewing it as kind of it's kind of like a thing in the wild almost, which actually kind of ties into Zero Year, the comic, in many ways. But I'm not saying it's directly doing that, but still, I kind of like that safari sound, just trying to figure Gordon out there. I really like it. Anyway, so Gordon gets a call, he's distracted, and he leaves. And I think, for my money, Gordon's genuinely distracted here. It's kind of this is on the back burner. And then I love this idea, though. This is a brilliant idea to do with the Riddler. Enigma is after Gordon leaves, he's so insulted by Gordon's, in his opinion, lame. Really, he's just his kind of lame attempt of outsmarting him. He's just, you're trying to play me for a fool. I don't think so. As he yells this to the body, I don't think so.
Yeah, it really plays into the whole, paranoia aspect of the Riddler and just trying to be the smartest man in the room.
Yes, I love this idea though. He's looking for a Batman through Gordon. He's looking for kind of the opponent. He's looking for that masterful opponent. And again, right now I'm not saying Gordon's unqualified, but he's not really looking for him at this point. He's just misinterpreting every action as like he's trying to be Batman. But there's no Batman.
So essentially, all the shit that he puts Gordon through in next episode is for nothing.
That's what I'm saying. How brilliant, how crazy is that?
I hear you.
Again, like, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's kind of stuff we've had really.
Gordon doesn't have Nigma on his radar.
Yeah. Again, that's what I'm thinking. I think that's what's so kind of brilliant about it. But at the same level, I like how we do have it kind of laid out. So even if it was the other way, we would know that on some level, Nigma's thinking on so many levels right now that mainly paranoia is driving him to this. Bear in mind, mainly paranoia. But on another level, it's at him realizing that, well, if he's even remotely on my trail, then he is definitely a liability. It needs to be dealt with.
Mm.
So again, it's really interesting. Okay, let's see. So,
nice Bullock action here. Bullock's like, gee, for a butler, you sure get shot a lot, don't you? Or you sure get beat up a lot, don't you? Don't you, Alfred?
Anyway, so Alfred tells him they got a name on the killer of Bruce's parents. Bullock's peeved. Again, Bullock is so awesome. Bullock saying he's peeved. He wasn't told. This is what you tell the cops about. And then Alfred reveals the whole kill plan of killing Matches Malone. And then I love how supportive Bullock is. Again, we fall in love with Bullock so much here. And I love that. Again, it's the Bullock that's a fully rounded guy. He's trying to help everyone. And at the same time, it's also Bullock who, remember, he has a lot of reverence for Alfred. He really respects Alfred.
Yeah, totally. So he's
again, like paying off that friendship. This is stuff you do not tell us.
Yeah, do not tell the cops this. This is not a game.
How many times do I have to tell you this is stuff you do not tell us stuff like this?
Yeah. Oh God.
This is very funny. Okay, so Bruce meets a very pleasant bouncer, I must say.
Oh God.
Seriously, it's like he's saying, hey, I think this again. I love kind of the bouncer and Cupcake. They're very pleasant people.
The maniacs, I think they can kind of take a cue from Nick Ford.
Yeah. So this bouncer, he's just saying, "Hey, where are you going, partner?" Like he's a cowboy or something. Like he's a kid with a mission. And yeah, he doesn't like kind of bully him or do like the stereotypical stuff of like, "Hey, kid, what's your business here?" Oh, you can walk in. Nothing like this. It's, "Hey, sport, where are you going?" Okay, come in. Just have fun.
Right.
That's an awesome answer. Okay, anyway, so again, it's like the Gilzine school of henchmanry.
All right, so you want to talk about Joker influence right here. I present to you Jerry.
So this came to fruition in a very clever way. I love how this I love a lot of this.
Yeah.
So he goes in there and basically there's this whole club is kind of themed and outfitted to Jerome and the Maniac's influence. They have like these strobe lights, and not a music video, but they're playing like rock and roll to this. And I love it's the promotional stuff too from the show. Like they played this Maniacs trailer. And it's all the footage that you're getting from this, and like Jerome's video footage. So again, it makes sense though. It's like the all points bullets and stuff mixed in with kind of Jerome's addressing the citizens of Gotham.
Right.
Which is very clever. Point is,
I really love how they're kind of like. I think they really make good on their whole promise of sprinkling Jerome into the influence of the villains.
Yeah, and we see just kind of all these people again. They're worshiping kind of like how the city eventually will kind of welcome Batman. But again, it feels very Batman Beyond Us, where you have gangs dedicated to the Joker here, where it's kind of like, they're all they're crazy, they're rowdy, they're dancing around. Basically, there's crazy, rowdy Jerome worshippers. And you see them like dressed in straight jackets and little smile masks. That's awesome.
Yeah, totally.
And again, I like how it's not like uber jokery, but it's like it's very Jerome-esque and very Maniacs. The Maniacs was kind of this movement. It's like their own Clockwork Orange, again, very Clockwork Orange-esque, where they're in all white with the noses and stuff.
Is there a milk bar?
Yes. Well, I mentioned Clockwork Orange because remember the scary story about that movie, Tiki.
What is the story about that movie?
After that movie came out in England, I guess in London maybe, the movie was perceived the wrong way, and Stanley Kubrick was so horrified by this, people actually emulated the street violence double. They had street gangs.
Right.
They pulled it out of theaters. I mean, America was okay, but over there it was like actual street violence happening.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
So it's kind of like a real life I mean, it's kind of like a fictional version of that real life thing. In this case, with Jerome, they're emulating the. It's like how in the culture people do celebrate the serial killers. There's art museums
Art
that
imitating life.
yes.
Okay.
It's like again there are there's serial killer art museums, and this is kind of like in that vein.
Right. Right.
Point is, so then we meet Lori Petty, who's singing on stage and greets Bruce and offers to lead him to Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
Quote unquote. Now this bit to me, I love this bit. So this is probably my favorite bit of the episode. Don't get me wrong, I love a later bit, and the big confrontation later on. But this bit to me, just as a Batman fan, this made me so happy. You know why?
Why?
It feels so Batman. It's just like even though it's so early, and you have like your proto Bruce Wayne, your proto Joker influenced crowd here. I just love this though. It feels like straight out of the Arkham games or the comics or anything, where he's like walking through a club of Joker henchmen essentially, and they're or Arkham inmates, however you want to like categorize that. Just walking through this crowd, like no one's making a move against him. They're all looking at him though. It's basically imagine like him in a cape and cowl just walking down there being glared at. Like seriously, can you see it?
Oh yeah, I can.
It's like,
Totally.
like Bruce Wayne walking through this crowd and everyone glaring at him of these Joker-loving thugs. To me, that was just so awesome. I love that.
Mm.
Okay, anyway, so then we meet Jerry. Revealed that she is Jerry. Big surprise there. Now she is kind of out of all of them, kind of the most Joker-esque looking. She has like white makeup on, a big old smile like Jerome's on there.
Oh yeah.
Does she have green hair or no?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Well, regardless, like if it is green, it's like okay, it's like again, you don't want to be too Joker-esque, but it's like people have green hair. Like they're all very varying different hair colors in this club. So
I would wager to say if they ever did something bold and did like a full-on female version of the Joker, this would be a pretty good direction to go with it.
Well, let me tell you what I loved about the take on Jerry here. I love that she was kind of again, I think she's definitely a good step of what we were hoping for. We're going to have like very serviceable potential Jokers throughout this show, and I think she's definitely a good one to step in there because she represents in many ways what Joker is to Batman.
Totally.
I mean, in this episode, she's helping Bruce Wayne to his metamorphosis of Batman. She's trying to help him like Joker does at times, like tries to, especially the Scott Snyder Joker, which is trying to help Batman through a very dark way.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they exchange pleasantries. Again, I love the pleasantries. They offer him something to drink, after walking through this hallway.
Iced tea.
Soda, anything. Anyway, so she asked to hear it, and he says, "Well, basically, hear what?" And then I love how deductive Bruce is here, where he's pointing out, "Well, you knew my name, so I assume Cupcake called you." He says, "Yes, but I'd like to hear the reason." Again, I like how she's kind of playing the charisma of like I just want to. She's the one that's getting so close to Bruce Wayne, trying to get into his head, trying to make him make the bad decision, but out of a place of love.
Oh god, it's like a twisted Jiminy Cricket.
That's what I'm saying, though. Again, that's what Joker can be at times. I think they kind of nailed it right on the head of like it's so perverse that Joker is helping form Batman. How crazy is that?
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, so Bruce gives the reason, killed my parents, that sort of thing.
That's a good reason.
Yes. She reminds him that it's not so easy. By the way, I had an idea. Tell me if this sounds like any plausible at all. I thought initially, and it's still up in the air whether this is the case or not, I would like to think that because of the footage that's playing in this club, all the club members, they recognize this kid instantly as Bruce Wayne. Because remember, he was in the video as Jerome was holding him hostage.
Right.
I would think they would know that's him. I would like to think that, but again, Cupcake.
You think Bruce has a little bit of a celebrity status?
I would love to think that, and these people know Bruce Wayne because they know that video, and it was like Jerome.
Oh, the guy from the video.
It was like almost his last victim. This guy spent his last moments with Jerome. That's how and this kid's interesting. Like if we ever
have like reverence for him, or like a little bit of a grudge for him.
That's the thing. I mean, it could be reverence, but I think particularly it's like if we ever become the Joker, he's going to be our first victim. So that could lead to some Joker attacks on Bruce Wayne, perhaps. Okay, anyway, so let's see. So she reminds him it's not so easy to kill someone, informs him Matches Malone has killed men, women, children, the whole spiel. I like, she starts removing the makeup. She reveals, as she's doing this, she reveals that Matches is a friend of hers, and that she asked, why should I tell you? Why should I tell you where Matches is? Because that's a very good point. He's a friend of mine. Why should I sell him out to you?
Mm-hmm.
Bruce first tries justice. Doesn't really play that well. Money? Don't need money. Then, this is great, though. Then he pulls out the gun. This is so Joker-esque here. He pulls out the gun and says, good reason.
Oh, that's a good reason.
Yeah. And then she points at her own head again, so Joker-like. It's just like, come on, make the decision, man. I love this, though. Just him, Bruce pulling some stuff he's learned from Alfred, some pointers, saying, well, I've learned that it's unwise to point a gun at someone until you're ready to shoot them.
Oh, yeah.
You are a wise young man. Again, I love the bond that's forming between these two.
Again, it's like, if you think about it in terms of, like, if Jerome's influence is basically this series equivalent to the Joker, then, him and the Joker are really hitting it off, and it's kind of twisted.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's see. So Bruce, she doesn't give him any answers. Again, he's not really shooting her in the head or anything. So Bruce respectfully thanks her, and he's leaving. And I like how intrigued she is by him. I was like, it's interesting. Yeah, but Bruce, first of all, I just love Bruce saying he thanks her and says, thanks, Jerry. It's been interesting.
Right.
He walks out. He's about to leave, and then she gives him the address. So again, she's coming around this kid, saying, "Man, this kid's actually he's wise beyond his years here." I want to help this kid. Again, I don't know what it is. Again, like deep down, I was like, I know I'm destined to help this kid become something more than what he is. But on some level, it's like, there's something about this kid. I want to help him out. He's interesting to me. Like he's taking all these risks. He's kind of going to the darkest places of the city here, and he wants to kill someone. I'm gonna edge him towards this and see what happens as an experiment.
I think it's like, oh, that makes me God in a way.
Yes. Why'd you tell me? Yes, you're right. He was my friend, and he's going to be happy to see you. And I love on the rewatch. This holds up a lot better because why she sent this kid to Matches Malone.
Totally.
Given what Matches wants by the end of the day, he's going to be happy to see you. And you're like the childish hand of fate. They get so great, kind of grandiose Joker lines too coming from her. Mm-hmm. The childish hand of fate. You get to be God. Who doesn't want to be God? So as Bruce leaves here, Gordon tries to step in, tries talking Bruce down. Says, Bruce, I know what you're doing and stuff. And this bit cracked me up so hard. So Jerry comes to Bruce's aid, and again, I don't know how much you want to read into it, but using a signal, kind of like a bat signal, one could say.
Right.
I say that because Gordon and Bruce Wayne are in the scene, and a Joker is somehow involved in that. I don't know.
And the Joker shines the bat signal.
I'm just saying, with the three of those characters in that scene, it kind of makes you think.
It's like a perverse, role reversal.
Yes, it's like it's the reversal. Like Gordon's not trying to sell him.
Right. It's like just a twisted. Like, can you imagine the Jared Leto version of the Joker and the J.K. Simmons version of Gordon somehow being involved in a scene like this?
Right. Anyway, so this bit cracked me up though. She says GCP, and he starts a new song, and as a mosh pit starts. Bruce gets away because I kid you not, this bit cracked me up so hard. Gordon, to foil Gordon gets lifted into he gets lifted by the crowd into a mosh pit, and Gordon doing what he does in this show a lot of times. When in doubt, he starts punching his way out. Gordon being lifted by the mosh pit, and the surprise on Ben McKenzie's face just was hysterical to me. Just think this beloved character of mine just being absconded with into a mosh pit. Anyway, so we cut to him arresting Jerry, and Bruce arrives at Malone's door.
Oh yeah.
And I love the instant reveal here again. All sorts of things paying off since the first season here. Door opens, shiny shoes.
Oh God, shiny shoes, mother of God.
Mother of God. Tiki, shiny shoes, mother of God.
Oh God.
So,
I never thought that would actually pay off.
Oh, it's so good. Anyway, so again, this whole confrontation between Bruce and Matches Malone is probably the best part of the episode.
This, I would wager to say, might be the best one-off character in the whole show so far.
One-off character, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, he didn't disappoint. So we have.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely
well, let's
not.
address our actor here.
Yeah, totally. He really brought the Breaking Bad level, quality of acting.
Absolutely. Remember Uncle Jack from Breaking Bad? That's who we got here, and he's excellent job. Would you remember his name offhand?
No, I don't. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
I might be able to look it up as we go through it.
I know it has like an M in it. It's like it's an M-related name, but I can't.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can look it up.
And no, it's not Matches Malone. That's something else. Anyway, so back to this. So points. That's kind of what I love right off the bat. You're thinking, oh, Bruce reached into his pocket. He's going to try to shoot him right off the bat. It's not going to go well. You're on the edge of your seat, knowing that Bruce isn't ready for this, even if he wanted to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're wondering, is he going to? We hope he's not going to go through. But then again, this season started off with Gordon shooting someone without the badge. So I mean, anything could happen. So
okay, it's Michael Bowen.
That's it. I knew it was in him. And
yeah,
Michael.
Yeah.
Thank you. Michael Bowen, great actor. So he plays Patrick Matches Malone in this episode. Anyway, so Bruce then he pulls out a little wad of cash, and a nice big old wad of cash, a little rolled up ball, and he wants to hire.
Ball of Mud and Madness, perhaps.
No. And let me. Should I rant about the name now or at the end?
I guess like save it for final thoughts, maybe.
I'll rant about the title of the episode at the end.
All right.
Okay. Point is, anyway, so I love Bruce's plot here, his hiring plot here. He's like subverting expectations a little bit there. He's walking in there, just like, okay, I want to hire you. Every second is burning away at Bruce Wayne. I want to hire the man that killed my parents. I hate this story so much. Right. Anyways, and then Matches invites him in. I love this portrayal of Matches Malone, by the way. The match, I shouldn't say of Matches Malone, because Matches Malone is completely different than this in the comics. He was using the name. But essentially, let's call him what he's Joe Chill.
Like Bruce is like talking to himself. This is just like Fight Club Bruce right here.
Really weird. My point is, this just Joe Chill, this technical Joe Chill. I love this portrayal of
let's go with that.
Point is, I love this take on this Joe Chill. It's very interesting. So it reminds me of some of my favorite portrayals of Joe Chill, actually, which I mentioned after. So point is, he's very laid back, and he's a pro. He's an expert. He's killed many before. And Bruce, which is a very interesting take on this version, by the way, is making him actually someone to be feared. And I think they do kind of earn the reputation with how laid back he is. It earns it. It's saying he's very much like Uncle Jack from Breaking Bad. This guy's done stuff. Basically a non-Nazi loving Uncle Jack. So let's see. So Bruce makes sure it's him. I love it. He's kind of pulling a Batman here. He's being very deductive. He's just trying to make sure. Okay, well, this is the guy. He's killed many before. Shiny shoes doesn't necessarily mean killer. It's a big step in the direction. Bear in mind. He makes sure it's him, and he makes sure he deserves it by saying, "Yeah, you've killed before." Yes, I've killed many victims. He lists off his resume. He's killed various victims of various occupations. It doesn't matter what class they are. He's through many different horrible ways, horrifying ways, and the most impressive and notable would be when he killed a man by lighting him on fire with a match. Hence the name. I mean, you light one guy on fire with a match, you're known by that for the rest of your life. So again, he reads Bruce is nervous here, and Bruce is, on some level, he's definitely nervous, but at the same time, he's kind of processing, oh yeah, he's the right man. Again, I love that he's not nervous out of fear, but he's nervous out of, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to end this man's life. It's a big step for Bruce Wayne if he does this. So meanwhile, we have very kind of, again, very Joker-esque Dark Knight scene.
Oh! On some surrogate father relationship here with young Bruce.
Yeah, so Gordon and Jerry are having a little scene here, and again, I love the. Again, I just love how Jerry still is ushering in Bruce into becoming Batman here, and just helping him exact this revenge the Gotham way. So again, I love that this is going to definitely tie into what Malone's going for here, like kind of how the city changes people, and how Jerry's been. These two characters have both been impacted by kind of the rules of Gotham, and like how it shapes people, and how kind of the next big baddie will usher in kind of Jerry's case. It's like the next famous big bad kind of shapes the city in many ways, which was Jerome in that case. And in a part of me keeps wanting to call him Jack because of Breaking Bad. By the way, I just want to make that clear. And in the case of Malone, it's that this city kind of broke him as a man, which again, both of these elements do definitely play in the Batman in big ways. Kind of the city broke him and kind of molded him as a kind of like this freaks city of Gotham, this kind of our supervillain city here. It's like the city's just so crime ridden, so depressing, and so you can get away with murder here, and like what kind of life is that to lead?
Right.
But anyway, so I love this idea that Gordon's developed quite the reputation for his temper. Because you got to remember, it makes absolute sense because he punched Theo Gallivan in front of like God knows how many reporters, so he's got a temper.
Sure.
And I can assume, like, all the Jerome, I think some of his exploits against Jerome have probably hit kind of the waves of the streets of like, I mean,
especially within this circle.
Yeah, I would assume so. But again, publicly, everyone would know about it because he punched the mayor of Gotham in the face publicly.
Right.
Anyway, so let's see. So you're right. So he's just pointing out, I'm sensing kind of a father's, kind of a mentorship here, kind of like kind of a how was it phrased?
Father-son dynamic.
Oh, a father-son dynamic in some way. Anyway, he points out, that I like that kid. He's got steel in him. He's gonna be a strong man if he's gonna grow up to be real strong if he lives. Good kid though. Again, I love that. There's really setting up kind of this age-old Batman Joker friendship here. Like, he's gonna be he's a good kid. He's gonna be great when he evolves to my level. Anyway, so then kind of pulling a direct kind of Dark Knight reference here, a very direct Dark Knight reference, particularly asking what time it is. What's the time? That's directly from the Dark Knight.
Yeah, I totally noticed that. Yeah.
Remember, it's that really dark line from the Dark Knight where it's like, what's time? What does that matter? I mean, he could be one place or several. Implying Harvey Dent might be severed in many different ways.
Oh, yeah.
So let's see. So it's been revealed that Jerry's been stalling Gordon, so by the time he gets there, it'll be after Bruce has done what he needs to do. So again, I love that she's still helping Bruce in a very perverse way here. And then they get the run out. Let me ask you this, Steve. Very just minor, mundane thing to ask you. Did Gordon really need to grab the jacket?
I don't know.
I'm gonna say he grabbed the jacket on the way out when he was running. I mean, it's if you're in a hurry, do you really have time to grab the jacket?
I don't know.
Anyway, so I know it's kind of like a cop behavior, but still, I mean, if you're in that big a hurry, why do you grab it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. So Matches is discussing price point here, and I love the price point and code, very Mike Ehrmantraut-esque, kind of this code he has.
Oh yeah. Double for women, triple for kids, and no babies. I will kill babies.
No babies. So it's $10,000, which Bruce thinks is relatively cheap. He says, it's a down payment. So tell me, kid, who you want me to kill? And this is where things take an awesome turn, folks. This is where things get really edge of your seat. Oh boy, this is gonna be so good. Bruce asks him again, that wonderful performance from our actor portraying Bruce Wayne here. Wonderful performance. He asks him if he remembers him. Of course, you know where this scene's going. Like, do you remember me?
Oh, yeah.
No, should I? You gunned down. Bruce draws the gun and he says, you killed my parents. And then commercial break. How great is that? I'm like, oh boy. So we come back. There's a lot of tension with this awesome confrontation that's about to happen here. So
I love how Matches just points out straight up, like, kid, like, I'm going to hear you out, but I could have you on the ground if I wanted to.
But here's the thing, man. I love right off the bat because that's the other big thing of tension. Because Matches Malone could easily take out Bruce Wayne. Absolutely could easily take. But again, he points out here and his feeds into the overall thing and really holds up on the rewatch. Kid, I'm too. I'll do what you say, kid, but I'm too tired because I'm too tired to jump you. But I could. Basically, he's too tired to jump him, as if he doesn't want to fight this kid, even if he could, which he absolutely could easily disarm this kid. So Bruce kind of reminds him because this really horrifying notion that Matches he does so many horrible things that he can't remember.
Oh yeah.
Says it was a big thing. He says, well, I don't really read the papers or watch TV, so I don't know. I mean, look, kids, some victims stick with you. I mean, like there was a fat guy who was begging for his life, but names don't really stick. I mean, I remember the occurrence, but I don't remember the guy's name. I don't remember that. So Bruce mentions, and this scene was like where it really hit us. Like, oh god, and let's just say I'll mention it.
Anything with the pearl necklace, right? Right? Is that like a thing for you?
No, for me, I was going to mention that. I mean, now I'm going to mention it with Batman v Superman. One of the best parts of that movie is the Wayne occurrence.
Again, I can't get over the whole like the Walking Dead actors, but that's just me being a Walking Dead fan. Anyway,
I'm just saying. I mean, it's so funny. Like right before that happens, we have something similar where you have kind of like another kind of big kind of the parental death episode.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Point is, the way that goes, it's really neat. Him just like he mentions the pearls, which of course the pearls are always a big deal in the comics. Scott Snyder has that great joke where he mentions he's been dared to like, are you gonna do like a whole issue of the pearls falling? I can do like 8 issues of that.
Right.
He could definitely get away with that and make it work because he's that good a writer. Anyway, so Bruce mentions the pearls, and it all comes back to Matches. He says, "Yeah, your mother, she was a blonde with the silver fox guy."
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I love they pointing out, yeah, it's his gray hair, so he's gonna have the silver fox take on Thomas Wayne. You ask who hired you. Bruce asks Malone who hired you, and he says, it may or may not have been hired because it just might have been just a random crime. Which again is something I've been saying to you since the beginning. Remember?
Yeah.
Could have been just a random crime there. Calls him son in this scene. It's very important. He says, well, yeah, I may have been hired because I can't remember. I may have hired, or I may not have been hired because it's random crime, son. And Bruce doesn't appreciate being called son by the man that killed his parents, like anyone.
Of course.
I love this line. This line is probably, I would argue to say, is the best line in the whole series. Possibly. Okay, not comedic line, but I'm saying genuine line.
But Jim, it's life.
Yeah, but seriously, this is probably the best written line in all of Gotham.
Okay.
I made you what you are. Like Gotham made me. Like your parents made Gotham. So I might as well call you son.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how twisted is that? I mean, again, Matches is making a very excellent point here that, again, it's also kind of homaging the 89 bit. Remember the whole, like, you made me. Well, you made me first.
Sure.
Yeah, I just love that idea.
I really like this episode because there's a lot of, like, it kind of feels like some of the best parts of all the different Batmans in a blender.
Yeah, but I mean, also with this episode's really getting to the core of what I want the show to be too. I think what a lot of us want the show to be, it's showing how Gotham transforms people, and this is a big episode all about the Bruce's opportunity for change, which thankfully he doesn't take, like Batman does many times over, not taking that opportunity for change. And at the same time, it's showing kind of how Gotham is transformed with Jerome, but also at the same time how it's just kind of it's also kind of a festering wound that Bruce needs to fix, that Bruce needs to help fix.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. It's just that perverse line of like calling him son, because again, I created you is what you're saying here, and like your parents made this city, which made me. It's really a really good observation to make for this show. I think I'm glad they kind of pointed that out.
Yeah, good line.
Let's see. So Bruce says, I can make you tell me. I could shoot you in the knee or the stomach. And then Matches says, you could, but that won't make me tell you a darn thing. You can do whatever you want to me, but you will never know a name.
He's a man of principles.
I got nothing left to say. Oh, I'm sorry. Bruce says, well, then there's nothing left for you to say. And again, this moment here, I love how he's being a father. The man that killed his parents is being a father figure to Bruce Wayne. How twisted is that? And at the same time,
was there anything similar with the Joe Chill stuff in the comics?
This level, no.
No? Okay, well then I really like it. It's a new take on it.
This is a very new take on kind of the Joe Chill thing. I'll point out like my one an element they kind of bring with this, I like kind of in connection to the Joe Chill thing after it happens here. But my point is, I really kind of love that he's kind of mentoring Bruce. I've never really seen that before. It's really cool here. But again, I love that he's actually informing what Batman becomes. So again, in many ways, he is actually creating Batman in this moment, like Joe Chill does. He's creating Batman. Sure. Where Bruce is pointing the gun at him, he's ready to shoot him. He just takes the last swig. He takes his final drink. Well, here's a toast to you, son.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my God, that's so poetic.
Yeah, Michael Bowen just really, really delivering it. Like I said, I think this is definitely going to stand up there with some of the best one-off.
And I'll tell you,
I don't even want to call this guy a villain. Like, it's crazy. Isn't that crazy to think that the guy who murdered Bruce's parents, you can't even really fully justify calling him a villain?
Yeah, I mean, he says this has been a long time coming. Then we have this really great turn for the episode. Really great turn here, where Bruce is asking why. Like, why do you want me to kill you? Why do you want to die? And we get this really great explanation. You wouldn't understand this sort of thing. Well, try it. I mean, again, I love that Bruce Wayne's here. No matter, again, these two characters are so linked to each other. Man, I love it when they kind of play the idea that there is this thing in the comics where sometimes Jojo will be affected by the death of the Waynes, finding out they were such powerful people that he killed.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, here you get kind of like a great take on that, where it's Malone he's tired of getting away with these horrendous acts. He's so tired of not being punished. Like, it's kind of like it's weighing on him.
Sure.
It's like, if there is a God, I mean, he questions at this point in his life, just questioning if there's a God. I mean, who doesn't punish a man who's done so many horrible things? And he's kind of viewing Bruce as that punishment, finally, of that release of kind of that I deserve this. I killed so many people. I mean, I can go on in this world, but I mean, I need to be punished, or else I lose complete faith in this world. That's really great, thought-provoking stuff. So I love, again, the mentorship is turning so twisted yet poetic here, where he helps Bruce with the guns. He says, okay, make sure you hold it tight, pull hammer back.
Right.
And then Bruce, he doesn't shoot. He's putting the gun down. Oh, don't lose your nerve! And again, now he's turning into angry dad. Saying, don't lose your nerve.
Look at me! I'm a monster!
You need to kill.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a monster you need to kill. Which, again, he just views himself as a monster. Which, again, with the word monster being used, I love it. That's tying into the season. Again, we haven't really had that since the beginning.
Sure.
Because, we're a big monster thing this season is going to be with Hugo Strange. But, again, I love that they're kind of bringing that idea back of, like, monsters in Gotham.
There's monsters, Mr. Gordon.
Monsters are coming, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's see. So, point is, he puts the gun down. He says, "Look, man, I'm the monster. I killed your parents." And then Bruce says, "I wish you were." And this is a great line too. It's Bruce saying,
It is.
"I wish you were a monster. All I see is just a man.
Mm-hmm.
You're just a man." He puts the gun down and leaves. And then Gordon arrives. He says, "He's in there if you want to arrest him." And Malone, we hear a gunshot. Bang! And like, oh my God. And they go in there and they see Malone has shot himself because Bruce Wayne, oh my, this is so great. And this is actually a reference to the Dark Knight Returns.
Mm-hmm.
So Bruce has this conversation with this guy. Just Bruce doesn't, I love it, Bruce doesn't kill this guy, but he gets justice, and then he kills himself here because he's kind of talking. He's heard him out, and I guess he kind of closed the loop on him.
It's kind of the best of both worlds in a way.
I mean, the Dark Knight Returns, there's a bit where there was this general who did a very corrupt act, and he felt really bad about it. And Batman essentially he didn't like tell him to kill himself, but he said, it's basically guilted him so much he killed himself. I'm just saying it's very similar to this bit from Dark Knight Returns. I like the subtle references to Dark Knight Returns that are in here. And again, it's just Malone shooting himself, and then Batman exacting justice by kind of hearing him out and just kind of. It is justice in its purest form, like a man looking for justice. Batman stops by, and then he exacts justice on himself by shooting himself in the head of, like, I deserve punishment for this.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. So then we have the violence test with the Penguin. You want to take us through this?
Sure. So, oh God! So he's being led into a chamber. He's in the room with Aaron. I think there's been a mistake. Then there's there's a tool, there's a knife, a glass of water, and let's see, I'm sorry. It's been a while. God damn it.
Strange and Peabody are watching the Penguin.
I'm butchering this episode. I really apologize.
Boy, Strange and I keep saying the point is, and I'm sorry about that, folks. I'm just trying a little off this episode too myself.
Yeah, it's I took these notes like 5 days ago, so it's really sloppy.
I've been ready to go with this for many days.
I know. This is not our finest hour of podcasting.
No. Okay, so Strange and Peabody are watching his penguin freeze Amygdala instead of killing him because he shows he has a knife, and he could. Again, there's a bit of you thinking, "Oh my gosh, Penguin to stab this guy." But
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he has a knife, and then he goes and he cuts the bonds.
and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love the music that plays. I love the score with Penguin and Hugo Strange whenever they're in a room together or something. They plays like this innocent music, like "Oh, Penguin." It gets better in the scene where he gets declared sane. But one moment there's I love the music of just like he's free, like he made the good choice, and they're all clapping like golf clapping, like
Golf clap,
yay!
golf clap. Yeah.
It's seriously like so pleasant. It's like it's Hugo Strange is so Strange is so proud. It worked, yay! Good for Oswald. It feels so. Basically, I love Strange looks upon Oswald in this scene and the next scene as if he's taking his kid to preschool for the first time. It's like it's hysterical. So he doesn't get revenge on Amygdala. He frees him. Hooray! He's made progress. So he declares. He sits down with Oswald, tells him he's been declared legally sane. And
Yeah.
Penguin's a little hesitant to leave the asylum because he's afraid to go out there. And Hugo says, "Oh, you've been rehabilitated." The point
It's
is,
normal to feel anxious about change, but good things happen to good people.
absolutely. And I love that Hugo. This is Hugo's plan with all these inmates. Again, in addition to the stuff he's doing at Indian Hill and the secret facility with the kind of the test on bodies and stuff. The other side of it is he is taking inmates and he is quote unquote rehabilitating them and sending them out into the world to see what happens. So he's fixing them in a way he thinks that maybe they deserve to be fixed, and he's putting them out there. Again, ideal in Hugo Strange. Again, remember in the comics he's very inspired by Batman. What he's doing here. It's like his way of fixing the inmates of Arkham and putting them out in the world, but again through twisted means because he doesn't really know what he's doing technically. I mean, he knows what he's doing, but he's like thinking, okay, well that's the best they're going to get. I mean, I've ushered them into the next step naturally, and that's still not a healthy step.
Yeah,
you're right. Good things happen to good people. Trust me. And so Penguin has now been ushered out by him saying, okay, well, yes, I guess I can go out in the world. Yeah, thanks, Dr. Strange. I mean, Hugo. Just he like corrects himself saying Hugo, and it's such a cutesy bit. And you notice Hugo, you can see there's a sense. Again, I love B.D. Wong's portrayal of this. We could gush over him all day. We're just going to limit it to this. I love that you get a sense of B.D. Wong in this scene. It's not just on one level. It's kind of like the happy, like, oh, I'm sending my kid off to preschool sort of thing. But on the other level, the dark side of that is that he's looking upon him in that bit where he kind of does a little Hugo name slip up, where Hugo is looking upon him as he's standing over him as if he's asserting dominance of like, yes, remember what I told you. Don't contradict me. That sort of thing.
yeah.
He's asserting dominance of like testing if he's falling back to the old behavior or not. Again, very clever. Anyway, so again, I love the music here is great. It sounds like uplifting and like, hey, go to school, little Oswald. I'll be here when you get back. Seriously, am I crazy? Doesn't he sound like a proud parent or something?
Yeah, it does. You're not wrong.
Like he shows Miss Peabody, look, that's my mom put it on the fridge. That sort of thing. He leaves and says, "Are you sure about this?" No, he's an experiment. I love the term there from like the most supportive doctor in the world. You've been a good friend and a good mentor. Oh, Oswald, that means the world to me.
Oh, that's very touching, Oswald.
Yes. No, he's an experiment. Says, they'll cast him out. They'll view him as an outcast. Well, that will pass. People are afraid of progress, Miss Peabody. Yet we still keep progressing. And it's revealed that he has deeper plans for the Penguin. So we're going to see what those plans are. It's going to be interesting to see what else he has in store for Oswald Cobblepot. And then she name drops a big old plot Hugo Strange has brewing, which we know is going to be horrific when that happens. I mentioned that he's building semi-human creatures down in the basement.
Right. Hopefully it's more satisfying than Doomsday.
Yep. Oh, I deeply hope so. And unfortunately, I think it will be.
All right.
And it's just on your head be it. I love that Peabody's just like kind of Hugo Strange's conscience or like kind of his better judgment saying, no, this is a horrible idea. Okay, anyways, and then this is a little pet peeve. Again, I really have just two main pet peeves. It was that thing earlier on Bruce Wayne, and this is the other one. Now, why does it have to be raining?
Because it's atmospheric. I don't really mind that.
I say that because like Oswald, this is just a nonsensical pet peeve. Bear in mind. So Oswald was walking out there. He has the certificate like right out in the open. It's getting drenched by rain. The degree you're so proud of is gonna get all sobby. He's gonna rip.
Maybe it's symbolism.
Right. Darn it!
No, I'm serious.
I know. I'm embarrassed. I didn't see that. Darn it! You're right. That's actually kind of clever. Darn it! Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you, Tiki.
You're right. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, so Bullock explains. Basically, we check in on Gordon and Bullock. Bullock's explaining that Malone. The reason they didn't find Malone, basically some exposition of why they didn't find him in the first season. So he mentions that, well, Malone's been around for so long. This actually was what I speculated in the Christmas episode, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But Malone's been around. He's so deep cuts in Gotham, you know. So Malone's been around for so long, such a long time. He's gone quiet. That's why we didn't find him.
Yeah.
They have no idea they have no idea if anyone hired him or who hired him, because they'll take their word for it that he's the guy who pulled the trigger thanks to Bruce Wayne. So let's see. So then we pick up with kind of a big old breadcrumb for our next episode here, where Jim and Ed have a little scene here where Ed is going up to him and thinking that, oh yes, I'm going to play into Gordon again. Thinking of how much this fuels the paranoia even more. You know what I mean? It's where he goes up to him and he says, "Oh yeah, so about your question about Miss Kringle," saying he's like worked up like a perfect solution to him, and Gordon's like acting uninterested. So a part of Enigma's just like uninterested. A part of Enigma's so infuriated at Gordon for like, "Wait, you forgot about me? That was a whole big thing to me. Like, what are you doing?" He feels like, oh yeah, he's trying to outwit me. I've come up with like a huge scheme right now in my head, like a good rationale of like why they didn't have any. And Gordon's telling him, "Oh, I'm sorry, I've been busy. I'll get back to it though, I promise you." So again, it's like on one level, it's Enigma so mad at him. It's like on one level,
it's like he's so ramped up to trick Gordon. You know what I mean? He's like,
again, he's making him out to be the Batman, the ultimate foe, the ultimate kind of person to match wits with. Really, Gordon's he's not even on his radar yet. He's just thinking. But now it's like one level, he's not even paying attention to me. But on the other level, now I've got him on my trail even more, which is even more inconvenient. I reminded him. That's not good either.
Yeah.
So Enigma's paranoia is getting way out of check. And this scene, I love this so much. So after Gordon leaves, and he's like, he's in full view. The way this plays it, like talking to Pinckney or something. Remember, Pinckney is going to be very important. I love this. And in some way, given the next episode, I'm convinced, rewatching it, that this little seeing Gordon and Pinckney together gives him the idea for the next episode. So he gets so paranoid. He's making he's making it seem that Jim is like that master manipulator. That he's not. He says, "Yes, I see what you're doing, you master manipulator." This cracks me up. What he calls him here is this hysterical, my little man.
You take me as a fool.
I have plans of my own. So again, Enigma's got big plans of his own. Again, just if you do not get on Enigma's bad side, I mean, it's not as bad as getting on Ed Begley Jr.'s angry side, but it's up.
Not quite.
Seriously,
I would argue like Enigma is more destructive. Ed Begley Jr. is more just flat out upsetting.
Yes, I mean, Enigma will just like kind of completely dismantle you physically on every level. But I mean, Ed Begley Jr. was just going to make you kind of cower in the corner, like people said. You'll be hearing sad honk music for about a week if Ed Begley Jr. yells at you. No tacos for Jimmy. Okay, so let's see. So Alfred reads. Bruce has left a note for Alfred, and he's reading it. And this is a really excellent sequence here.
We'll go through it as quick as we can.
This is an excellent way to end the episode, where Alfred learns that Bruce plans to live on the streets, plans to learn about crime in Gotham. Again, Matches Malone has proved very educational. This whole Matches Malone hunt has proven very educational on how bad a state Gotham's in right now, and that being kind of the rich billionaire is not really helping him. He's got to go to the street level. He's got to kind of start the Batman Begins journey. He's got to start kind of globetrotting in a way, but through the city first.
Mm-hmm.
He learned. We get this great shot of him walking. We see the violence and crime all around him. I love this scene. He's like Bruce Wayne walking, he can't do anything yet. And it's how poetic. I keep saying poetic. I'm sorry. Seriously, how symbolic is that? It's like a Bruce Wayne who knows he can't do anything yet because he's not Batman. He's not ready yet to fight crime, but it's surrounding him, though. How painful it must be to him knowing that there's so much crime and darkness surrounding him, but he can't do anything.
Yeah, I really like this. I really like this decision. It's very kind of Batman Begins-esque. It's kind of Bruce Wayne sort of taking his first steps in the training outside of just, like the physical training he's been doing with Alfred.
And I love that in the note, though, he dresses like, I know, Alfred, your first instinct's going to be to run out, but listen to me. and he's also mentioning that, look, Alfred, I'm not taking on muggers yet. But again, we know he definitely can't take on muggers. We have this great bit where walking by a car, like gunshots are going off on the inside. Again, great. So that's great crime-ridden stuff that they're doing with Gotham here. And I love this line. This line is fantastic. This is a great little statement on the series here. Bruce says here, I'm not taking on muggers yet, but one day I am going to do something to help the people of Gotham. I'm not sure how, but I will. That is a great Batman line.
Yeah.
That's a great line for a young Bruce Wayne. Dylan could take notes. Anyway. So Alfred, we have the end with this great shot of kind of Alfred like sitting on the stairs of the Batcave, like, oh man, I don't know what to. I need Bruce in my life. No. Then we get this great tunnel shot of like, it's also mentioned that he's going to be living with Selina on the streets, kind of learn about the crime in Gotham, kind of learn the streets and all that stuff. And we get to see the shot of the two of them walking through this really great tunnel shot. How great is that tunnel shot?
Oh yeah.
And then the last shot is Nigma with a newspaper clipping from the first season of Hero Cop, Jim Gordon, with a big old question mark drawn on it. In green. The Riddler's coming! The Riddler's coming!
And I think next episode is like, I'm really anxious to talk about next episode because I feel like it's one of the best Riddler stories that I've seen.
Right.
Anyways, so that was Ball of Mud and Madness. Really quick, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Let me say, my gripes are very minor. I'm going to say it's a really excellent episode.
Yeah, I definitely think it was, it was a good payoff to all the Bruce Wayne stuff. Matches Malone, definitely a really good standalone character. Like I said, I don't really have a lot to add to the conversation.
Let me say, can I rant real quickly about the name? Let me rant real quickly about the name. I hate that this episode and the next episode reference characters that don't even show up at all. The name thing's gotten that bad.
It's gotten a little out of hand.
This episode's name is a Clayface episode, but he's not in it. Seriously,
I think they at least partially made up for the whole thing with Mr. Freeze because that was a very Mr. Freeze centric episode. Yes, but yeah, you're right.
It's like 2 steps forward, 5 steps back. Literally, in the next episode, basically it's Clayface, and the next episode is the Mad Hatter. Nothing happens with it.
Right. I hear you.
No, Clay. Seriously, this is remember we were speculating the names during the speculatory episode. This didn't strike you as a Clayface episode. I don't know what does. Mud. This ball of mud and madness. Mud and mad.
All right. But overall, very solid episode. I think the season's going in a really good direction so far.
Yeah, I think
especially this back half of. I mean, the Gallivant. Like I think early season 2 was really good with the Jerome stuff. I think the Gallivant stuff. Pretty much could take or leave. I'm not saying it was terrible. I'm just saying it was kind of like felt like we were kind of dragging our feet a little with some of that. I think so far coming back from the hiatus, this show's been really promising.
Oh yeah, and again, last thing I want to say on this episode, sorry, because I got distracted by my own rant. Again, this episode I think it's such a great embodiment of what this series should be and kind of what it's saying about Bruce Wayne. Kind of these really kind of great forming Batman moments in his history, and kind of they're tying in kind of stuff that this series is set up into kind of this grand idea of like this is how Gotham impacts people. And again, that's the biggest idea I think the show should push forward with, and they're doing it finally.
Definitely. All right, so go ahead and take us out then.
So remember, kids, no matter how dark and scary the world may be right now, there will be light. There will be light.
Until next time, when we go exploring Gotham yet again. What flavor was it? What flavor was it? What